But what do you say, Junior? We get back to the hotline and welcome in our final guest of tonight. I can't believe how fast time's flying along. But I've been looking forward to getting this guest on for probably a month. His name is Ian Burgess. He is with Hythe Speedway, and it is just outside Grand Prairie, Alberta. A beautiful short track out there, and Ian's on the hotline. What's going on, Ian? How you doing?
I'm doing well, gentlemen. Thanks for having me on, and this is pretty cool. This is pretty awesome for our little gem of the speedway up there in northern Alberta. Great to be on with you guys tonight.
Well, welcome to Race Time for the first time, and that's on me, man. I should have had you guys on a long time ago, but you know what? That's all water under the bridge. We got you on now, and we definitely want to find out more about Hythe Speedway. You got a cool looking racetrack. First, when was that speedway built?
Yeah, so we used to have a dirt track in Grand Prairie, and unfortunately, the story of many racetracks, progress came, and so 1992 that track shut down, and we had a board. So we're a non-profit club-run facility, and we had a board of members that set out on the hunt to find some land and the funding to build a new speedway. And finally, in 1995, we were able to kick off our opening event at the Hythe Motor Speedway, and we were able to host actually the CASCAR West Series then. And it was all due to some of our great guys. We had Mark Oldenburg and Rolly Lintz and the Clark family, the Worst family, and Rick Peterson. Actually grew up in Hythe, and some of your listeners probably know that name, Rick Peterson. He's now co-owner of Aero McLaren SP. Started up there racing with us in Grand Prairie in the Hythe Motor Speedway, ran some CASCAR, then went on to Formula Atlantic, and now he's part owner of that IndyCar team, which is pretty cool.
No kidding. Isn't that pretty amazing, the roots of where a lot of, well, let's face it, if you're in this sport, chances are you started out at your local racetrack and you've grown from there, right?
Yeah, totally. And that's something we're really proud of at our track. We've had, Rolly Lint, Rick Peterson ran the old CASCAR days, and now we've got he's young, he's not as young as he used to be, but he's younger than me, and young driver Jamie Krissick, who runs in the NASCAR Pinty Series here, and spent some time running down in the States in used to be the K&N Series with Bill McAnally, and it's cool. We got lots of young drivers at our track that are kind of, making their way up. We have a small dirt track just outside the main facility where drivers start at 5 years old, and we call them mini sprints, the cage kart kind of thing, and they do that for not 8 or 9 years, and when they come onto the big facility, they have more experience already than most of us did when we started racing on the big track.
Yeah, exactly. I got turned on to Hythe Speedway just this past summer watching Rev TV Canada, and sure enough, I see one of your races on Rev TV. It was the All North, and we all know that Mike Garrow and everybody at Rev TV does a great job of getting short tracks from across Canada involved and through that different product. And I was watching it and I'm thinking, where is this track from? And we pride ourselves on knowing pretty well every speedway across Canada, and we've had pretty well every speedway representative on this very program over the last 16 years. And Ian, you guys were missed, quite simply. And when I was watching it some more, I heard part of your commentary. I believe you were the announcer on the broadcast I was watching. And sure enough, I went, Alberta. And I got to having a look around, and sure enough, right outside Grand Prairie, beautiful looking racetrack. It's bigger than a quarter, isn't it? A little bit bigger?
Yeah, we're a high bank 3/8. About where I was debating with the crew tonight. I think we're about 12 degrees in the corners and about 8 degrees on the straightaways. True two groove racetrack with even some room on the outside. And so those of you that got to see us on Rev TV, you'll see that we've got cars that run side by side all race. And we had some amazing events this year, and I want to say a huge shout out to CIA Solutions, who did our live stream and got that to Rev TV. But we had our Super Nationals event where we feature our IMCA modifieds, and this year we had the Street Stock Border Challenge with 29 Street Stock show up from all over Western Canada, from as far as Regina in the east and Penticton in the west. So it was a really great event, and it is a jewel up there, and we do need a little work on the surface eventually here, but sometimes we don't realize how good of a place you have when you're there every day and every year. But it is truly a gem in Western Canada.
Now, do you see the likes of like Chris Reed or his brother, the Robbie Towing guys? I know they're out in Grand Prairie. I know I follow them along. I've broadcasted many races from Canada's East Coast, and you know those that Chris and his brother are out there. Do they pop out to the Speedway at all? Are you familiar with those guys?
Does not too familiar with me, but we do have we do have a lot of people that come out and are a part of it, and it's a great event, and we draw from all over. Where Hythe is actually about 45 minutes outside of Grand Prairie, and it's on the Alaska Highway, so we get a lot of traffic in the summer. People heading from the States up to Alaska stop in, and we got lots of room for just camping, and people will stay for the weekend. We'd always run 2-day shows because we hope to invite out of town cars and give them 2 days of racing, and we know it is a lot of miles to haul, but it's a lot of fun, and it's truly that club run facility. That's how I ended up eventually in the announcer's booth. We didn't have someone that day, and so they stuck me up there. I'm a high school teacher by trade, and I guess I'm used to talking to people, so they threw me up there, and it's a lot of fun, and it's truly a family event. And we camp out there as families on the weekend and have big potlucks and all that kind of stuff, and it's just a ton of fun.
Well, you do a good job behind the microphone as well. I watch those broadcasts; they're very watchable, very informative. You do a good job now. And it was modifieds, it was street stocks that I was seeing on those broadcasts that I watched. And like the Reed guys are late model guys. Do you run late model races? Do you have a late model class there at Hythe Speedway?
We don't have a local class. We did a few years ago. We had a sportsman division, which was the same guys that would run the West Car. We've hosted West Car numerous times, and it's a thing about just having enough interest in the area. I think we've been really close the last few years on nailing down a West Car show again, and I think that'll be something that we work towards here in the future. And but we have so we've got our mini sprint class. We have a junior senior division. They start in H5 and run up to 15, and then we call them our starter stocks. This year, your bone stock V8 class, and then a street stock class, which used to be kind of roughly based off the IMCA stock rules. And then we have our IMCA modifieds, and we've been sanctioned with IMCA Canada since we started in 1995.
Absolutely. Those modifieds did a whale of a job, I might add, too. You got a really good car count there. You got a lot of very competitive modifieds that fly around that speedway. How is it looking for 2022? Pandemic out there as well, and we're all coming down off of it. How are things looking for 2022?
Yeah, things are shaping up good. I think having those big events that we had last year and getting some of that exposure nationally with Rev TV and that, it's looking good. We actually, as crazy as it sounds, the pandemic actually helped us a little bit, and I know most tracks will say not a chance, but what happened the first year of the pandemic, we only were able to run 2 weekends, but most of the tracks in northern BC ended up closed all year. And so we had a whole bunch of BC guys that said, we just want to come and race. And our rules weren't, we thought they weren't that close. And we just said, oh, whatever, come up, let's have some fun, let's put on a show. And so we ended up with 18 cars for a street stock show, and it was amazing. It was close. Things were competitive. We had, one of their guys finished the weekend in first, one of our guys was second, and we started thinking, like, maybe we don't have to get everyone on the same rule book right away. Maybe we can host these invitational events, and things are pretty close, and it'll work out. And so that grew into last year. We had the Street Stock Border Challenge, where we had a 3-race championship between Kings Park Speedway in Regina, the Hythe Motor Speedway, and Wine Group Speedway, and we had 29 cars showed up to our Street Stock event. And this year, it's growing more. So this year, that Border Challenge is actually going to be Medicine Hat, Regina, and Saskatoon Wine Group. And we're going to join in with the Tri-City Series, which is Prince George Speedway, Thunder Mountain Speedway in Williams Lake, and Gold Pen and Quesnel. So it's going to be, again, we're hosting 4 weekends, so 8 events. And our big event is the September long weekend, the IMCA Super Nationals, and that'll be our Street Stock Invitational. And also we're excited again to have the Anugas Compression Canadian Super Truck Series join us in August for 2 days, and they're just a whale of a class to watch too, with some really great close racing and big names. For a long time, Wade Lee ran in that series, former CASCAR driver that they know how to get themselves around the track pretty good.
Oh yeah, I've seen those super trucks. Seen them out in Vernon, I want to say, when I was out there 2010. Watched the super trucks. Got a bunch of interviews after. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy that went to Victory Lane. It was quite a while ago now. But I'll tell you what, some great racing. And hey, that's what it's all about, right, Ian? Working together for the common good of the sport. And it sounds like you guys are well on your way to doing that with, Wynot Group Speedway, Williams Lake, Gold Pen, all of those great tracks. And there's a lot of good things happening out there in Western Canada. Stock car racing is alive and well and growing and thriving. And it's through efforts like what you guys are doing there. That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, it was cool listening to Trevor Sievert on there, and a bunch of our guys actually went down and ran their October race of the street stocks last year, and we've had a couple of them come up for our race. And I know Billy Coles, maybe that's the guy you got to get on your show. He runs RS1 cars and street stocks, and he's a big help there. And it's cool to see Trevor's excitement and passion, and I think we hold a lot of that. We're trying really hard to just get guys racing, and we'll sort out rules. We'll deal with that. We've been doing that all winter now, but it's just get guys to the track. The bigger, the better. Let's have some fun. And you've seen it. I know you have too. But when a guy needs a hand, it's your competitor that's passing you a part to put on your car. And to me, that's what makes me proud of this sport. And the family that I have up there. I drive up from Calgary to be at the races, and it's that family up there that I love and that have supported me when I was racing that I keep going back to.
We're all one. I can guarantee you that. How do fans find out more about the Speedway, scheduling, all of that good stuff? What's our best pointers? I guess social media. What do you got going on?
Yeah, for sure. They can find us on Facebook at Peace Area Motorsports Association and Hythe Motor Speedway. We're also HytheSpeedway.com and on Instagram at Hythe Speedway. So those are places we're updating pretty regularly, and they can message us any questions, stuff like that.
Ian, do me a favor when you get time. Fire me some names, some team names. I need some driver names. We're going to get them on this very program, and we're going to get find out more about the teams that are running out there. We'll put a face to some names, and definitely get you back on the show to get everybody up to date before the green flag goes in the air out there in Alberta. Sound good?
Joe, that'd be great. We got some really cool multi-generational race teams here at the Speedway that I think would put on some great interviews for you.
I guarantee it. Ian, thanks so much for the time tonight on Race Time. You be safe, and I know we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Joe and Joe Jr., and have a great night.
Amen.
You betcha. Ian Burgess out there at Hythe Speedway. Cool racetrack. Did you see the one on Rev TV? Did you see the broadcast?
So I have not, but I've seen the racetrack now. There's actually quite a bit of content online. They do a great job with that. A nice little 3/8 mile.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
It's really funny that we didn't know about it.
Yeah, I know.
It's hard to sneak stuff up on us when it comes time for racetracks. Now, I will say that our West Coast coverage is a little bit harder. We're a little bit more disconnected to the West than we are to the East. But that's just through years, right? There's a big country.
And
that's
about to
change big time.
Yeah.
And, when it comes time for, asphalt short tracks, that's our bread and butter.
Yep.
I love it. Love asphalt short tracks. And, for me to not know that there was a 3/8 mile racetrack up there, I would love to go up there and check it out, just to see what it's all about. And definitely, what a hotbed up there as well, right? Like, up there's really, the job base fits so perfectly with who the local Saturday night short track racer is.
Oh, yeah. Huge.
Tradesmen, they're service personnel.
It's the demographic right on.
It's the demographic perfectly. And up there's a lot of mining, a lot of oil patch, a lot of, and decent paying jobs in that corridor, right? So, there's usually some good opportunities, And what a little hotbed for the sport, and looking forward to following along. That's the number one thing that I can say is I'm gonna be keyed in.
Yeah, lots more to come. I can guarantee you that. Final break of the night. We'll be back. Stay right there.